You can do whatever you want with your body, including intentional weight loss, but don't act like your actions exist in a vacuum, because all your actions have consequences.
They sure do. My actions got my sleeves hugging the guns like a great aunt. How about yours?
And when you post that sort of content, you're directly contributing to a toxic body hierarchy.
Let's assume you're right. Okay. Now let's not pretend like a big reason for that hierarchy isn't health.
I'm not willing to admit that I was wrong, so I'm gonna pretend that I love it and that this was the plan.
You know, online, you have the ability to pretend to be a good person because you have the option to only show people your highlights, and you actively chose not to. I can't think of anything more bitter than reveling in other people's shortcomings. This epitomizes that crab in a barrel mentality that is just rampant in your movement. And you should feel bad. Her sister in misery, Maya, also hopped in the comments so they can be bitter together. Don't worry, my beautiful audience. She will have her spotlight on this channel soon enough.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
Let's not pretend like there's no reason people say that. Here's a short list of just some of the more absurd things I have heard called fatphobic. The word has lost all meaning, so saying I'm not fatphobic, but is an unfortunate requirement, and it's the fault of people like you.
It's okay to eat, and it's okay to eat what you want to eat. Like, I want a burrito. I was craving a burrito. I just had a burrito yesterday, but I want it again, so I'm eating it again. Like, it can be that easy, y'all. It's great.
Advice like this in a vacuum sounds cool, and it's all fine. Having a blunt is fine. Having a beer is fine. Hell, taking a tab of acid is fine. And yes, obviously eating is fine. But as we're about to see, Leah isn't just talking about basic indulgence. She's putting it on the same level of overindulgence.
One of my mutuals made a comment that was like, she mentioned she was eating a burrito, not that she was eating 200 burritos. People responding saying, well, food is obviously an issue for her. Because of her weight, obviously. Food is not an issue for me. Food is an issue to all of you who obsess over calories, portions, morality of food. Seems kind of obsessive to always correlate food with weight.
It's not obsessive, it's reality. Caloric intake leads the charge when it comes to body weight.
Food is not an issue for me. But for y'all? Also, if you want to eat 200 burritos, if that was even possible, go for it. Do it. Live your best fucking life. Food is meant to be enjoyed. I hope some of you find that joy and stop doing shit like this.
Hell yeah, Leah, you advocate for overindulgence. There's no way possible something like that could have potential consequences, right? So, like, does this count as promoting obesity? No? If this doesn't, what exactly does?
Yeah, so there's so many reasons that someone can gain weight without having excess calories or more calories than a thin person.
Yep, there were so many you couldn't name one.
You can look those up, there's lots of conditions that have weight gain.
What? Fuck no, it's not my job to prove claims that you make. The burden of proof is on the claimant. It's not my job to support claims I didn't make. You made the claim, you support it.
But the thing is, it's based in sustainability, and it's not sustainable long term to just do calories in, calories out.
Calories in, calories out isn't something you sustain, it's the principle. Calories in, calories out is not only the reason for weight loss, but it's the reason for weight maintenance, and yes, even weight gain.
Your body will gain the weight back.
Because you ate too much.
95% of people who intentionally lose weight through dieting and exercise, keyword intentional, gain the weight back and more within 5 years.
Whoa, 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 hold your horses. And exercise? Now I'd love to see some research on that because I have not read any research that shows a diet in conjunction with exercise produces a 95% failure rate. The only research I have seen that supports anything close to that figure is specifically in regards to a temporary diet.
So it's not as simple as just calories in, calories out.
In terms of pure weight loss, yeah, it's that simple. In terms of like changing your body composition, yeah, macronutrients are important.
It's as simple as making sure you're eating a varied diet, making sure you're moving your body, and not trying to just make yourself thinner for the sake of it. That's sustainable health. Calories in, calories out might work temporarily,
It works all the time, even if you're gaining weight.
but your body will bounce back to its set point weight, unless you're a big outlier.
Or you don't return to the lifestyle choices that got you obese in the first place. Let's look at the work of Corral and others from 2011. According to this research, dietary adherence is quite effective at predicting weight regain. This study followed 116 people who had lost weight for a 2-year period and used objective means to determine dietary adherence and monitored the participants' activity levels. What they found is that weight regain is largely predicted by dietary adherence, and activity level also plays a small role. Much to no one who isn't a fat activist surprise, we have the research. You're gaining the weight back because you're eating too much and moving less.
Right? There are so many things that go into weight.
There sure are, but nothing leads the charge like caloric intake.
They just see a fat person and they're so uncreative. They're just like, oh, how's the McDonald's line? It's like, damn, I wish they had something vegan. Their shit is tasty, but it's not all we eat.
No one assumes you only eat McDonald's. There's plenty of other fast food joints and plenty of other unhealthy foods that you can just get at a local grocery store. Humans aren't plants. We don't pull nutrients from the soil. That new mask you put on has to come from somewhere.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
You know, if you can't tell those comments are being hyperbolic, I really can't help you. But hey, let's look at this study on years of life lost due to class 3 obesity. Kitahara and colleagues looked at the effects of 3 different groups of class 3 obesity on longevity using data from 20 studies across multiple countries, and even when excluding individuals that had smoked and had a history of chronic illness, they still found that women with a BMI 15 to 19.9 points above the normal range lost 6.9 years of life, and men 6.5. Women with a BMI 20 to 24.9 points above normal lost an average of 9.1 years, and men lost 10.8. Women who had a BMI 25 to 29.9 points above normal lost an average of 10.3, and men lost 10.6. In women with BMI 30 to 34.9 points above normal, lost an average of 13.1 years, and men lost 17.1. Do what you will with that information.
Let me clear this up just once and for all. I never delete comments that are logical. In fact, if you go to a lot of my videos that have a ton of comments, you'll see some comments that are of people with different perspectives. My criteria for deleting comments is if it's fatphobic or if it's rude. What y'all keep doing is confusing logic with fatphobia. The comments that are all disagreeing logically are just saying like, fat people die early. Yes, fat actually does cause deaths, which aren't true, and I'm not gonna allow that shit on my page.
Well, I've heard enough. You're just saying you're not allowing any sort of dissent. In reality, you don't want to see those comments no matter how true or untrue they may be. Even if they support it with the most rigorous scientific data, you don't want to see it because it hurts your feelings. And that's the reality.
It really bothers me when fat people get this question. Who wants to be oppressed?
You.
That's just a Republican talking point. It's null, it's void, nada.
It's really not. I've seen this accusation of wanting to be oppressed come from and be aimed at people on both sides of the aisle, appropriately and inappropriately.
We don't want to be denied surgeries.
It's not oppression. They're protecting you. Firstly, not all obese people are ineligible for surgeries. If you are, it's because you are big enough to pose a risk. It's a fact that about 1 in 4 people with a BMI above 40 have sleep apnea. That's very high and makes the group a risk.
I love going into the doctor for any sickness, any ailment, and having it be either attributed to my gender or my weight or both.
Yeah, I doubt this happens, partially because it sounds absurd, and partially because of a survey that revealed 2/3 of doctors don't even discuss weight with their obese patients. That's a majority.
Denied medical care. We don't want people harassing us on the street. We don't want people hooking up with us just so it can be an inside joke with their friends. We don't want to be harassed online. We don't want to have no clothing options. It isn't that fat people want to be.
Is being made fun of oppression, though? Is having a harder time finding clothing oppression? Is being the butt of jokes between friends oppression? These seem way more like inconveniences than oppression.
Options. It isn't that fat people want to be oppressed. It's that we are, and we're not going to shut up about it. Because we want it to change. We want to stop being oppressed. Just because you don't see it from your privileged point of view doesn't mean it's not happening.
They can't see it because of their privileged point of view. Wonderful. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take your ass to Syria. And I want you to go talk to those gay people who are being thrown off of buildings. I want you to go to them and I want you to describe your experiences. Do you think they would describe what you're going through as oppression? What you're going through are nothing more than inconveniences caused by your own overconsumption. They're consequences. For you to sit there and say men having sex with you as a joke is oppression is insulting.
Recently, I came across a video that said that if you're fat and wearing your seatbelt wrong, it could literally kill you in an accident. So I'm going to show you how to properly wear your seatbelt if you're fat. If you're wearing your seatbelt here, that's your stomach. That's going to rip through your organs and kill you. What you're supposed to do is wear your seatbelt down here under your stomach so that it will hit your pelvis and you will survive.
I think this is hilarious. She duets this video and captions it with, "I hate when engineers never take fat people into account." Like, what? You not knowing where to put your seatbelt isn't the engineer's fault. It's yours. With that said, I want to thank you all for your views. If you guys have any other ideas of fat activists that I should give the spotlight specifically in one of these compilations, let me know. Comment down below, and thank you for watching.